Every year, the Royal Rumble comes around and everybody wonders who's going to win, who's going to main event WrestleMania, and who is going to walk down the aisle that we didn't see sign up on the sheet backstage. And every year, we hope we don't get disappointed by it. And today, Luke and I are here to talk about the 10 times that we were disappointed the most.
Yeah, this year I'm hoping it's a Wade Barrett appearance. But maybe this year's a good example of this. I'm hoping it's Wade this year, but it could be Graves. And I'm more excited than a Wade Barrett Rumble entry than I am a Corey Graves one.
Well, that might just factor into our list a little bit later on with one of these entries, but for every great John Cena and Edge return from injury, we have a Shane McMahon and a Ricardo Rodriguez. So with that being said, I'm Tempest and that's Luke from WrestleTalk, and this is the 10 worst Royal Rumble surprise entrants.
Yes, that's right. Yes, nearly there. Oh, yes, now I'm feeling it. Yes, now it's nearly there. Come on. Oh, it's nearly there. Wait, what? No, no. Ah, God damn it. I hate this hacker crap.
Luke, what are you doing in here?
Are
you trying to steal the company's data again?
Maybe.
Well, you know the data's all protected, right?
What? How?
By using Surfshark.
Surfshark?
Yes, Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN that will protect your IP address, stop cyber criminals like Luke here, and allows you to watch content from all over the world. Go to surfshark.com/WrestleTalk for 4 extra months of Surfshark. Link is in the description.
Wow, that's great, Tempest. Can you let me know the password to the back end?
Oh yeah, of course. It's CM Punk did nothing wrong 69420. No spaces.
Yeah. Ollie did make this, didn't he?
What gives you that impression? Honorable mention, Hiroki Sumi. Can we get Yokozuna? We have Yokozuna at home. This is Yokozuna at home.
This is the best one of the greatest Royal Rumble surprise entrance, because the other one was Mojo Rawley's there to be the Ultimate Warrior, but Hiroki Sumi there to be Yokozuna is definitely the funniest of the lot.
Number 10, Shane McMahon, 2022. So this is the Shane McMahon Rumble, and it's an indictment of the Rumble itself that it's remembered as such, because nothing else happened in it of note, except for an interesting backstage story. And that is the only reason it is as low on this list as it is. But Luke, what is your backstage story from this match?
So the report of this match is that Shane McMahon was really pushing his narrative for this Rumble. One of the things he wanted to do there was him set up a match between him and Seth Rollins. That was going to be his WrestleMania program that he wanted to do. And in the end, they kind of effed with him a little bit, which is they told him he was going out at a certain number. And then the number beforehand, which he thought was supposed to be Randy Orton, they played Shane's music. So Shane's looking at Randy being like, "You're up next." And Randy just looks at him and is like, "Well, I'm not going out because it's your music." And so Shane has to go out 1 entry early because his dad was just messing with him. And then he gets fired a month later.
And if there's anyone you want to call things on the fly in a Royal Rumble match, it's Shane McMahon. Number 9, Haku, 2001. This is just a bit sad, really. The bottom end of this list is ones where I can't say that it's horrible or bad or anything. It's just, why do the people of 2001 not care that Haku has just graced the ring of a Royal Rumble?
Yeah, he comes out to no fanfare, no pop. The loudest thing in this is JR shouting, "It's Haku!" And it's this little pause and beat. This is the greatest Royal Rumble ever, but this is just not a great cameo. Should know as well, because people will be expecting Drew Carey. But Drew Carey is A, not a surprise, he was announced for the Rumble, and B, is f***ing awesome.
Yeah. I think if this happened today, Haku's pop would have been much bigger just because the legend of Haku with the internet has grown so much larger. Here it was oh, well, here's Andre's old tag partner back, I guess.
Yeah, I guess WCW is going out of business.
Shame. Damn shame. Number 8, Ricardo Rodriguez, 2012. This is a bad Rumble.
This Rumble sucks.
This is an underratedly all-time horrible Rumble, and it's at about this point that you can really start to feel, oh, there are no stars in this match. Because Ricardo comes out to Alberto's music, and everyone thinks it's Alberto, who's hurt at the time. That would have been a big star for this match's horrible standards anyway. And he drives out in an old beater car, comes out, and it's a funny joke. but it's not the funny joke in a Royal Rumble where no one in the match is a star.
It's a funny joke to one man.
Yeah.
And I am not that one man. This is not a funny joke to me.
That's it. If this happened in a great Royal Rumble, I'm sure this would be looked at as like, that's a fun little comedy spot.
Like Drew Carey.
But if the bad comedy spot is the only highlight of your Royal Rumble, that's a pretty bad Rumble.
It's a terrible Rumble.
More on that later. Number 7, Santina Marella, 2020. Now, this is just tough, you know?
Yeah.
This is a matter of taste, as is all comedy and all wrestling for that matter. But when Santino Marella in the year 2020, not 2009, 2020, comes down the aisle as Santina Marella, his twin sister, only to immediately eliminate himself, having gone face-to-face with a reuniting Glamazon Beth Phoenix and Natalya. I've never thought Santino was particularly funny. I know some people do, but I've met him, and he's not.
Yeah, this one, much like the previous entries, is not for me. This is not my brand of comedy. And also, like, why didn't Beth just eliminate him? Like,
I think he wasn't cleared to take any physicality in this match. Then don't do it.
This is like the Iron Sheik had to win the gimmick battle royal because he couldn't take a bump.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he could have won this match.
Imagine. You know what? Might have been better than Charlotte Flair beating Rhea Ripley. Maybe. Number 6, Dolph Ziggler, 2018. Now this one is absolutely baffling because Dolph Ziggler, the surprise Royal Rumble return, just feels like that doesn't make any sense. No. And considering he was only gone for a month, it really doesn't make any sense.
This story sucked.
Dolph Ziggler in 2017 goes through an identity crisis of trying to steal everyone else. He does the old Charlie Haas or Damien Mizdow thing where he's stealing other people's gimmicks and entrances. And then he wins the US title at Clash of Champions because WWE wanted to switch the finish of one of the matches to screw with the bookies. And that's the one that just didn't matter at all because it's him, it's Baron Corbin, and it's AJ Styles for the US title. Doesn't matter.
It's a belt that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. AJ Styles wasn't in that match. I forget who it was. It was like Ty Dillinger or something. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But Dolph Ziggler wins the US title in this nothing match, goes out on SmackDown that week, says, I actually don't want this, drop this. They do a tournament for it. He leaves, comes back at number 30, and is eliminated in 2 minutes.
Like, why am I supposed to care about this?
This is peak. Why are we supposed to care about what Dolph Ziggler does time?
Yeah.
And this is before the it was supposed to be me thing where it got to parody levels. Yeah. This is just where it was unironic but terrible.
But he did have that one great match with The Miz in 2016, so maybe that's it.
Number 5, Michelle McCool, 2018. The first Women's Rumble, I really think could have had a lot of like the established record holders, you know, like you go out there and they do Sasha Banks as the first Iron Woman. She lasts almost all the way until the end. They got that one right. The most eliminations in the first Women's Rumble, the person who can kind of hold that record for the first few years, Michelle McCool, eh?
Yeah, you could have had like a character use this as a character beat for the rest of the year. Like, I got the most eliminations in the Rumble. Like, a Nia Jax would have been perfect for that.
Perfect example of someone who could take this and be like, I'm the big monster. I eliminated the most people. Could have had Asuka do it. She's going to win the thing, you know, dominant. She's still undefeated at the time. Any of the horsewomen that were involved, plenty of options. But the Undertaker's wife. And I don't mean to be derogatory here, but there's one reason why Michelle McCool gets 5 eliminations in the first Women's Rumble, and it is pure nepotism.
There's a reason why when she was on the Raw Netflix debut, Michael Cole said, she's one of the greatest women champions of all time.
Factually incorrect. Otherwise, Michelle McCool perfectly fine. There are 13 out of 30 people in the 2018 Women's Rumble that are surprise entrants, and she would have just been another one, and it would be great, and I'm happy to see everybody take part.
Yeah.
But she did not need to be the focus of the middle part of this match. Number 4, the announcers. Boy, let me count the times they've done this spot. The first time they do it actually works really well. Jerry Lawler comes in and he stands up. He's so surprised that this is happening. He has his gear on despite this.
Well, this is what I love about the King. The King's always in gear at ringside.
Yeah. And he goes into the ring, he gets punched twice and eliminated, he's selling his face, sits back down, starts doing commentary again, pretends it never happened. Great spot, really funny. And then they've just kept doing it. JBL did it in 2014. Pat McAfee did it in 2024. It's never a great spot. It's just, you know, a comedy, wait for the next entry type deal. But the worst one is 2012.
It's a bad Rumble.
It's a horrible Rumble. It's known also as the Announcer Rumble because Cole, Lawler, and Booker T all got into this match. 10% of the Royal Rumble is the commentary desk.
Well, you said earlier, like the 2012 Rumble is a great example of we have no stars, and nothing says we have no stars quite like all three of your announcers and Ricardo Rodriguez are into this Rumble.
Yeah. Number 3, Brock Lesnar, 2022.
This is a bad Rumble as well.
It hasn't gotten better.
Yeah, it was bad at the time, and time has not made it like, no one looks back at this be like, maybe we were harsh in the 2022 Royal Rumble.
I bet there are people who grew up with it who really enjoy the 2012 Rumble for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
Some people think Attack of the Clones is a good film.
Absolutely. I cannot fathom for a second anyone putting on the 2022 Royal Rumble and enjoying it.
No.
There is nothing of note that happens in this besides a Shane McMahon backstage story. And then Brock Lesnar, who had already lost the WWE Championship on that show to Bobby Lashley, comes out at the end to set up the main event of WrestleMania. Everyone had been screaming at the top of their lungs that they did not want.
Yeah, well, when Meltzer reported the main event of WrestleMania is going to be Brock versus Roman, and I was like, it can't be. They're just on diametrically opposed directions at the moment. There's no way they can bring this together. And they had a way, and it was a way that I thought was pretty naff. Like, you know, the 2012 Rumble, it was like, this company has no stars.
Yeah.
10 years on, they still have no stars.
It's still, we got to put Brock Lesnar in everything. This is peak, like, Brock Lesnar's in Money in the Bank. Brock Lesnar just gets to face Kofi Kingston for the WWE title. Brock Lesnar just gets number 30 in the Royal Rumble and wins it. And he's going to go on in WrestleMania. He's going to win the WWE title back along the way, unify that title, and we lose it forever. All of this was so unnecessary.
Yeah, huh?
We could have just done anything else.
Yep. And then he wins the WWE Championship a month later.
Horrible. Number 2, Ronda Rousey, 2022. Hey, look at that. Same show. Worst
bad year for the
WWE pay-per-view of the year.
I said to you, because we were talking about this before we recorded, in my head, this is the pandemic Rumble. In my head, I can, this feels very Thunderdome. But it was not. Poor people paid to see this.
I nearly went to this show.
Did you?
I'm so happy I didn't. I got sick just before this, and I avoided having to sit through what would undoubtedly be the worst WWE show I would have ever been to, because this stupid match, Ronda Rousey making the return no one besides Satnyangi wanted to see, coming down to the ring and winning the Royal Rumble that was meant for Sasha Banks in a move that has cost WWE Sasha Banks, and they've never gotten her back. Cost them Naomi at the time too. All for this run of Ronda Rousey. And the surprise is a bit naff, it's a star, Ronda's back, and there's not really anything else to cheer for in the 2022 Women's Rumble anyway. So it's like, whoa, there's something. She wins, and everyone's like, I don't know if I really wanted to see Ronda Rousey in a big world title match as a babyface in 2022. But the added year and a half that has followed this really does just God, this is where it all starts, isn't it? This is a bad run, and it starts here with a bad surprise and a bad Rumble. And number 1, Roman Reigns, 2017. This is WWE not understanding its audience. Oh no, they understand perfectly well what the audience does not want to see. There's just an old codger with the headset on going, hey, yes, right, little fans, you fans.
Think of the hate.
In 2015, 2016, I absolutely agree that is where WWE just does not understand its fan base. It's the most unironic pushing of Roman Reigns and Triple H main event of WrestleMania, all this. It's horrible. They mess up every step of the way. This, they've taken note that this is not what the WWE fans want to see, and they're like, but we're going to give it to you anyway, in a different sort of way, no, this is great, and we will just you'll see if we keep doing this, that this is great. Here, they're like, nah, this is terrible, which is better because they'll hate it.
Well, this is what I mean by like not understanding your audience. In like your audience is telling you we don't want to see this, and your reaction to that was like, we're going to give it to you anyway, and we're the ones that are reaping the benefits of this by turning away business, because this does start like a real downturn of attendance and stuff, which doesn't come back up until essentially Triple H takes over the book in in 2022, whenever it is. This is a bad time, and he's on the show earlier in the night, and then he is the surprise entrant in the Rumble, and it really is an audience going like, oh, what? Really? And it's booing the company. It's not booing characters, it's booing the company. This is Jinder Mahal as WWE champion. I'm not angry at Jinder, I'm angry at WWE.
It's perfectly well said. Everyone was so excited for this Royal Rumble because there were so many people who could win it and so many directions they could go with the Rumble win into WrestleMania and all of that. And I don't particularly think Randy Orton was a inspired choice for that. And maybe that's why this happened in general, because everyone would hate Roman Reigns so much that they'd forget about Randy Orton being a fairly apathetic choice, and they would cheer that result because it wasn't Roman. But also, people wanted this to be Samoa Joe. Like, he gets called up the next night on Raw, and it would have been so cool to see him enter the Rumble, maybe not even win it, but that's a number 30 where everybody remembers and it sticks in their mind. It makes you love the Royal Rumble because there's a surprise. What an awesome moment. And this was just them going, no, f*** you fans, we got you again.
And like, if the argument is, well, we'll put Roman out there because the fans will boo him and it'll make people cheer around it, then f***ing turn him heel then. Like, just turn him heel. Stop trying to push him as a baby because he's going to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
This is his yard. Top babyface, Roman Reigns. Have a happy surprise, Royal Rumble viewers. And that's our list. Make sure, of course, if you've liked this new format, that you let us know in the comments and let us know what other list topics you would like to see covered here on WrestleTalk next. Otherwise, here is a clip from the latest episode of TLC. Check it out.
At the end of this, we will have a definitive top 3 for this category, which is the worst Royal Rumble winners.
Yes.
Sullivan, you and I did best Rumble winners in the last episode.
Yeah, which I found actually that much harder than the worst Rumble winners.
Me too.